I've been here for 5 years and I've owned 5 businesses in 5 years. And I started giving back to the community. So I started asking myself, what should I do? I started browsing ideas. Then I'm like, podcast. I'll start a podcast. I won't be able to teach the audience because I'm not expert, not qualified to help anyone. But what I can do is ask bold questions to qualified people. And I'm going to ask, how did you make your first million? Because this is credibility. The purpose of this podcast was from the beginning is giving value and giving back. Because I felt like I owe this community. Coach Little Joe. Can you believe that this guy calls himself Coach Little Joe? He's so big. He's making a 6'1" guy, 210 pounds, look very small. I met Coach Joe about a year ago. He was about to launch his app, and we worked together for his app so we can get more members, and we've had so much success. Now we're very good friends, and I really wanted to bring him to my podcast so I can bring value to you because he's answered some questions, diet questions, gym questions for me that helped me improve so much. And it was like actually life hacks. So he's also one of the very few trainers that they're not brokies. And I know that for sure. 90% of the trainers that I know, they don't do well financially because I think they have very lack of knowledge in business. They probably have lots of knowledge in training, but they don't know how to run a business and they end up quitting and getting a job as a full-time personal trainer at some gym, and I see this all the time. I probably know 4 or 5 successful personal trainers out of 100 that I know. And this is honestly one of the biggest reasons why I wanted you on this podcast, because we're all about giving value and helping others and sharing business secrets. And I really want to ask you questions today to learn more. How did you actually break through massive wall of trainers not doing really good? What made you do really good? What made you scale? What made you get more customers? Well, first, I want to ask you, when did you actually start this career?
Well, for me, it started a while back. Like I initially started as a Good Life personal trainer way back about, it would have been 13 years ago.
Okay.
And so initially I was doing the personal training side of things. And I found out really quickly within the first couple of years that there's a really, low ceiling in regards to what you can accomplish doing that, especially working for a corporation, where you're very limited into how, much you can expand yourself. So after a couple of years of doing that, I saw people, even at that time, this was like 2015, starting to go into the online side of things. That started to become a thing where people were coaching people online. So I had recently moved I used to live in the GTA, I moved to Ottawa, and I decided when I moved, I was like, I'm going to quit Good Life and I'm going to try and do this online thing. Initially, no idea.
When was that? What year?
That was 2015.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, okay. So about 10 years ago. That's when I initially started to dabble in it. At the same time, I was working, at a supplement store and stuff. So it was kind of a way for me to, market myself and talk to the customers about like that I offered this coaching and things like that. And I was able to build up some clientele, but it took me a very long time to understand how to properly market myself because for the longest time, I was doing it online, but I didn't really know how to go about the marketing side of things. You know what I mean? So for me, it took me a while to learn that. But, in the past, especially in the past year, things have really scaled upwards for me insanely, especially since, we met, obviously. That definitely changed things a lot for me because I understood a lot more about what I needed to do to, appeal to people and for them to understand like what I'm offering them so they can understand what the value is there and understand that it's a lot of value for what the price is and including with the app and everything and launching that and making it a more, beneficial process for the client and making it an easier process for them too. I wanted to make sure that I was going to have that available for people and that they understood it and, were able to easily access it too. So yeah, especially the past year, I think that's been the biggest difference for me. Before that, things were pretty good, but within the past year, it's like skyrocketed from there.
So what made you the most money winning all the championship that you won? Because you were a part of a couple big competitions, right?
Yep. Yeah, I competed as a IFBB pro for about 5 years. I haven't competed in a couple of years, but the reason I kind of stopped was partially due to wanting to focus more on my business because like competing takes so much time and it's like a full-time job. So I was like,
Physically challenging too.
very challenging. And like, you don't really, it doesn't really pay the bills per se. Like you can win competitions, but you're not winning enough money that you're going to be
It's good for the reputation and building a portfolio, correct?
Exactly.
Is it helping you right now in your business?
It definitely has. Yeah, it definitely has in like the bodybuilding aspect of like working with competitors. But I've kind of used that and then like kind of transitioned more to working with people who are, they generally just want to get in really good shape. They want to build muscle. They want to look good, feel good. And that's like the everyday person, because my approach initially was more, yes, very bodybuilding focused, but there's a lot of people now that they want to look like a bodybuilder to a degree, right? But just a smaller version. And those same concepts can be applied to the average person, just in a more applicable and a way that's like more feasible for them on a daily basis. You know what I mean? Like making it more feasible for them to stick to a program that's going to work for them, get them the results that they want to see in the near future. And that's where, my app comes into play, because it enables them to do that, follow the program, track everything, and get the results they're looking for.
What do you think helped you the most to understand the business of fitness? Did you get a coaching? Did you get mentoring? Did you buy this specific course or read a book that really helped you learn how you should scale this business before last year? Because you were doing good before last year. You had your first Mercedes, you're getting in a house, all this stuff, because when I met you, I asked you these questions that you had already been doing good, right? So what got you to this level? Is it reading books, courses, mentors, coaches, or just working your ass off?
I think it's a combination of things. Like some of it definitely comes from my, notoriety of doing well as like a competitive bodybuilder. And then taking certain courses, like there's, some courses by like John Jewett, which are very good when it comes to like bodybuilding contest prep and performance enhancing drugs and things like that. And then just like doing my own research too. Like I'd always try and, whether if I wasn't taking a new course, I was always trying to do some sort of research. So that way I'm always trying to learn. And I still do that now, because like I'm always trying to like level myself up, because like I felt like, a lot of people, especially in the training world, it's like, yeah, you can have a certain amount of knowledge, but it's like when it comes to the practical knowledge, like the nutrition, the supplements, the workouts, yeah, that's great. Like a lot of people do have great knowledge when it comes to that, but it's being able to like market that to your audience, right? And I think that's something that I wasn't doing as well at, but I kind of relied more on the courses and being a competitive bodybuilder as my main source of like how to market that. But then once I kind of stepped away from the competing side of things, I was able to put more effort into social media and stuff like that, and that kind of transitioned into starting to build things up a bit more, even before that we met and started to get started with like the different approach, like leading into the app and everything. But I think it came down to a combination of things, like obviously the work, putting in the work, taking various courses to level my game up, and then just doing my own independent research to get better at what I'm doing. And also like, watching my competitors at the same time, seeing what they're doing and seeing how I can do something better or offer something like a better value or whatever it could be, just so that it makes me more, people are going to come to me over them.
Crafting a better offer.
Exactly, yeah.
And learning how to convert.
Exactly.
My favorite two topics. So what has been the most challenging task since you wanted to grow this business? Which one did you hate? Like sales, marketing, actually the training this type of people? Well, what was the most challenging thing that you said, I wish I don't have to go through this?
I think, I always initially hated the sales aspect of things. I got into, when I first got into the coaching realm, I never wanted to be like a salesy type, person. But I did realize that it's not really like about being, the best salesman. It's just about being able to, portray your offer and make sure that your offer is something that people don't want to refuse. You know what I mean? Like the one book that you referred me to read, the one about Alex Hormozi, and he's talking about the $1 million offer. And it's like someone's gonna, go for that offer because there's so much value in it for such a low price, right? And I think me being able to explain that to people and show them it's like you're getting all this just for this price, and being able to say that confidently and them to understand like what they're getting, the value that I'm providing, made a big difference. Because before, I wasn't as personable with my clients, and now I've become a lot more personable. So it shows them the value they're getting is far exceeding, what they could possibly get somewhere else for the price.
And you know what? Most of the times I see business owners they are offering and they have so much values to give, but the way they craft their offer, the way they talk about it, the way they produce content about it, it doesn't make it look like they're giving this much value. So it's mostly about crafting the offer. And it's something me and you went through. Like, it's the same knowledge I used to have you're offering, but the way how we're explaining our offer and crafting our offer is different. It's not pitching anymore. It's like, hey, I'm going to change your life if, and I'm capable of changing your life if you do this, right? And it's up to you if you want to change your life. I'm not going to pitch you to do it. I'm not going to force you to do it. There's lots of tricks to it. We can't go over everything right now, but today is about you, so that's what we want to focus on. You're about to hit the 100K followers on Instagram. How does that feel?
It's pretty crazy, to be honest, because I think I've almost doubled my following in the past year.
Yeah, when we started, you were 30K each-ish.
Yeah, I think
37, 35K.
Just, high 30s, I think. So it's been, almost more than doubled since then. So it's crazy.
That's crazy.
And it literally just came from like putting way more professional effort into my content, because I wasn't really investing in my content like I am now. Like when I used to do it, it was just, me recording, some training videos, recording things here and there. I wasn't, talking to the camera as much and things like that, and really like trying to like speak to the audience directly, you know what I mean? And I feel like when I started to have a day every week where I just record content, and I have a videographer doing it, it's all professional, everything's done well, that really changed things for me, in regards to like what I saw in a response from people, like whether it was, obviously the following increasing, and then, getting a lot more inquiries when it came to my business and everything. And since then, like, it's like every day, I get so many DMs at this point that I can't even respond to them all. That's how crazy it is.
You can't keep up with it.
Yeah, literally can't keep up. That's how crazy it's gotten. But it's a good thing. It's a good problem to have, But that's the biggest thing I found, is I had to treat it like a business as opposed to just like posting content, as like a hobby, or like, oh, like this will kind of help. But it's just like, no, like this is my job. I have to do this. This is something I have to schedule in every week, and it has to be done. I have to come up with ideas. I have to like have set videos, etc. And since I started doing that and like treating it like, it's like a mandatory thing in my week, it's been a crazy difference. I literally just had an opportunity this past weekend. It was crazy. I went to LA I got to be in a YouTube video for this big YouTube channel they wanted me to be in. They just like randomly like hit me up because they saw my content.
Instagram?
On Instagram,
no way.
They hit me up on Instagram. They
amazing.
Flew me out, everything. And it was just like, I just did it yesterday, and I literally flew back on a red-eye flight last night.
They paid you for it? Or?
Yeah, they paid me.
No way.
They paid me, and they covered all the expenses. And then, I flew back last night. Didn't really sleep much, but I wanted to make sure I was here today. But that was, kind of the opportunities that start to happen when, you've put that groundwork in, and people have, seen what you can offer to them, So it's cool what you can accomplish just by making something, taking it more seriously, I guess you could say, like making it a mandatory thing in what you're trying to, establish with your business.
So social media can bring you financial freedom if you own a business or you have a skill. You just have to put in the time, correct?
100%.
That's what I've been saying for years right now.
100%.
My Instagram is not even close to the growth of yours. Like, I have like barely 6,000 followers, and it makes me about 10K a month.
Mm-hmm.
It's that crazy, right? So yes, social media can change your life, can give you financial freedom forever. You just have to treat it like a business, like he just said, like you said it. These are your words. You put in the time, schedule things, get it done, be consistent. And when you first started, did you like it? I bet no. But then you fell in love with it after.
Yeah, once you start to see the results coming in, you're like, man, it's like a mandatory thing for me. It's like every single Wednesday, I record content. Like every Wednesday, it's like scheduled in there. That's like, a certain time block to do it, because, at first I was like, I kind of dreaded it because like naturally I'm more of an introvert. And so like doing that and talking to the camera as much was like not something I was comfortable with. But since I've seen the results of it, I'm like, okay, I don't care anymore. I'm just going to keep doing it.
Fall in love with it.
Exactly.
Yes.
You're just like, you fall in love with like,
you get hooked.
Yeah, you're hooked on it, the process, the results, like getting those rewards. You're like, okay, like I want more. So for me, it's just like, it makes me want to do it even more once you start to get a little bit of a taste of like, what you could accomplish,
That's what I say to most of my students. Just let us start. And that's why in my program, I always offer now like 30 days filmed and edited by my team. Like if you take a bundle of 20 sessions by example, we will come and film and edit 30 videos for you. Why? Because I want you to just take this step. If I just wait for you until you have the courage to film yourself, I think it's going to be very hard and challenging. So if you're international, I get you to film it on your phone and I'll have my team to make it look really good. So you'll have more confidence to post it. And the first 30 posts are the hardest posts. The first ever 30 posts, because most of my students, they never post on social media and they want to start. So the first 30 posts are the hardest. And then after those 30 posts, I can't stop them from posting anymore. They go like crazy. So would you start coaching personal trainers how to grow their businesses on social media and how to grow their businesses overall? Would you do that?
Percent. That's actually something that I want to, start getting into as like a next step, because I've kind of, got to that point where I'm more or less like getting towards a cap with how much I can really work on one-on-one with like coaching clients. So for me, it's having other opportunities where I can, help other coaches and like help them do the same thing to scale their businesses. Because, for me, I've had great success with like, being able to utilize social media and like marketing my business properly and making it a mandatory part of my business to utilize that to, get the results that I want. So I would definitely be leaning towards that in the near future to like start working with others to help them do the same thing.
What do you think, what helped you grow so much your business? Is it the knowledge that you have in fitness or the knowledge that you have in marketing and sales right now?
I think...
Don't tell me combination, because it's obvious the answer combination. But if you think that you had a little bit less knowledge in fitness and the same knowledge in marketing and sales, wouldn't you have gone to this level?
I honestly think it does come down more to the marketing and sales because like there's a lot of people who are really smart in the fitness world, but they don't know how to market themselves. And they're, like you said, they're a trainer at a gym and they're, barely, scraping by being a trainer in a gym, and they're just really undervaluing what they could be doing. And I've like, I'm not going to sit here and be like, I'm the smartest, like most knowledgeable trainer in the world. I'm sure there's people that are smarter than me, but being able to market yourself makes a huge difference. And I think for me, like, obviously I still try to gain more knowledge when it comes to, what I'm trying to teach in regards to fitness, nutrition, etc. But the marketing side of things, like that's where I'm like, okay, this is where, the focus needs to be for me to be able to, broadcast to people and for them to actually know who I am and what I'm about and what I can offer them.
What's your favorite platform?
I'd say right now, Instagram is probably the number one for me.
It's converting the most for you?
100%. Yeah. Instagram does the best for me. And then I would say second to Instagram, probably YouTube. And then third would be TikTok.
Did you set up your TikTok shop yet?
Not yet.
That's what we're going to do next.
Okay.
We need to. So it's still tricky in Canada, but we want to try a couple new tricks to see if we can make it happen.
Yeah.
Right, for location-wise, VPN, stuff like this. Because if they allow you to actually set up a TikTok shop, you're going to change your answer. You're going to say, my favorite platform is TikTok, then Instagram. Because on TikTok, that's where people want to change their lives and they want to be better very fast, very soon. And you're a big educator about supplements, and these supplements help you grow faster. People wait 10 years to hit a body shape, but if they actually follow some tricks you give them in your supplements, they can get that in like 6 months.
That's true.
And that's with like cycling, of course, and that's where I'm going next. So this conversation is going to become very controversial. Get your popcorn, high protein popcorns, and your high protein wine. Is there high protein wine? Put your pants on. We're going to talk about some controversial shit right now. What's your favorite cycle?
Favorite cycle?
And why?
Okay. I would say from my experience, especially in a bodybuilding sense, like I would say my favorite combination was always like testosterone with primobolan and growth hormone. I really like that combination for the main reasons would be, obviously testosterone is the hormone your body already naturally produces and you want to maximize that hormone. And then combining that with primobolan, you're getting something that's going to help you also build more lean muscle, but it counteracts the aromatization that happens from taking testosterone, which is essentially when you take testosterone, your estrogen goes up. So taking the primobolan helps counteract that and bring your estrogen back into a normal range. And then the growth hormone, there's so many benefits to growth hormone when it comes to like longevity, your joints, helping to, with body composition, helping with digestion, with sleep, and just like overall well-being, your collagen synthesis. And there's so many benefits
Keeps
in
you
that
young
regard.
for a long time.
Exactly, the youthful benefits. And when you combine that with taking, testosterone and other PEDs, you just get more out of them too. So you're getting a better combination when you use, testosterone with growth hormone. So even if you're doing TRT, for example, if you're doing TRT but you're taking growth hormone, you're going to see way better results than if you just took TRT on its own.
So let's get a little bit more technical for the nerds out there, for the people that like to know details. What are the exact doses that you would take as a beginner for all this combination?
So when it comes to dosing, first thing I'd always say to people is before you do anything, check your blood work, know your baseline. So that way you're understanding, okay, this is where my testosterone levels sit normally. And then you can supplement from there. So typically when it comes to TRT, what they're going to prescribe is like within a physiological range. So it's going to be anywhere from 100 to 200 milligrams a week. If you're trying to obviously build a significant amount of muscle, you want to kind of push just outside of that physiological range to start. So I would say starting at somewhere around 250 to 300 milligrams a week of testosterone, and then combining that with the primobolan and having about 200 milligrams of primobolan a week. And then for the growth hormone, I would say starting with, 2 IUs a day, maximum 3 IUs a day as a starting point. Because if you're someone who's completely new to it, you're a beginner, your blood work's in good standing, then adding these compounds in at those doses, you should see good results. Mind you, you have to be doing the workouts, the nutrition has to be on point, everything else has to be on point as well. But that would be a great starting point. And that's like a good starting baseline for somebody if they are, trying to, maximize their progress in the gym and do something that's not going to cause a lot of adverse side effects and will actually, help them, build a better physique.